This is the outer central breakwater landfill site. Incombustible waste and ashes from combustible waste are disposed. This is the new sea area waste disposal site. These sites are currently being used for the final disposal of waste generated by the 23 wards of metropolitan Tokyo. The waste we produce in our daily life. Combustible waste. Incombustible waste. Large size waste, such as furniture. And waste that is recycled as a resource, such as newspapers. Waste separated into these categories is collected and carried away by special collection vehicles. This work is undertaken by each of the 23 wards. If the waste were disposed of in its original form, the landfill sites would soon be full. The waste is therefore put through intermediate processing. Combustible waste is incinerated in incineration plants. Incombustible waste is pulverized at incombustible waste processing centers. Large-size waste is pulverized at a pulverizing processing plant. Intermediate processing to reduce the volume of waste buried in landfill sites and so give the sites a longer useful life is the work of the Clean Association of Tokyo 23. The waste, reduced in volume, undergoes final disposal in a landfill site. This is the work of the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Environment Bureau. As a result of the growth in recycling, the volume of waste generated in Tokyo is decreasing. Figures for fiscal year 2000 show that out of 3.5 million tons of waste generated, 870,000 tons was disposed of by burial in landfill sites. If industrial waste is included, the volume buried rises to 1.3 million tons. Now let's look back at the history of the landfill disposal of waste in Tokyo. Starting from the late 1920s, number 8 site at Shiomi was used. Number 14 site at Yume-no-shima. And site number 15 at Wakasu. Landfill disposal was also carried out at the inner central breakwater landfill disposal site. Subsequently, it was continued at the outer central breakwater landfill disposal site. And since 1998, landfill disposal has concurrently been carried out at the outer central breakwater landfill disposal site and in Block A of the new sea area waste disposal site. The sea walls for Blocks B and C are now completed, and reclamation work here will be carried out starting with Block B. Following that, Blocks D, E, G and F are to be constructed. Waste will be buried in D and E. G and F will be filled with waste soil. When this site, Yume-no-shima, was filled, it was turned into a public recreation spot with a sports center, a tropical plant center and a park. A smart smokestack rises above the new Koto waste incineration plant, the biggest in Japan. When the Wakasu site had been filled, it became the home of a golf course and a park. Looking into the future, when the new sea area waste disposal site has been filled, 1/3 of it will be reserved for parks and green spaces. In comparison with former times, progress in recycling and intermediate processing has brought about great changes to the waste that is taken for final disposal. Large-size items are pulverized at a crushing facility, and ferrous metal parts are extracted as a reusable resource. Combustible items are taken to processing plants, incinerated, and the ashes buried in landfill sites. Incombustible items are pulverized at a processing center. After ferrous and aluminum parts have been removed, some of the combustible parts are incinerated at the processing plant. The ferrous and aluminum parts that have been removed are recycled. Incinerating combustible items reduces them to ashes and only 1/20th of their original volume before their disposal at a landfill site. At the Orta waste incineration plant, the ashes are liquefied at a temperature of over 1300 degrees Celsius. Cooled, they turn into small vitreous nodules known as slag. As the volume of ashes is reduced by half, dioxin, the toxic substance they contain, is broken down, which helps to protect the environment. At present, fused slag is used in processing plants like the Orta plant at 7 other locations. It will then be possible